Podcast. I'm your host, Nick, joined by Jude and Jackson. We are going to be doing our Week 4 NFL game picks. We can just get right into it. It's actually a really good slate of games, but we'll start with the season results. Jackson's not on here. It's me and Jude. There's our records. Last week, both had a pretty good week.
I had a dang good week last week.
And then you see our upsets of the week. On to...
Whoa, wait. How are you 11-5? Did you miss a game? Yeah.
That's where I went this week.
There's am I tripping?
There's 16, you 11.
Oh, you counted my Chiefs one. Okay, thanks. All right. I got Niners. All right.
Anyway, starting off with Thursday night football. Lions at Packers. Tough game to predict. Packers dealing with injuries, but some guys are going to be coming back. I just think the Lions are the better team here. That's really what it comes down to. It is in Lambeau Field, but I don't think that changes much for me. I just really like the Lions in this game.
Thank you for your genius insight.
Oh.
Lions are just a better team.
I like the line. Honestly, okay, this kind of hurts. For some reason, I'm having this weird feeling. I kind of like the Packers. I don't know why. It's like they give me good. They have good vibes. I'll say that.
What happened last time you switched to the Packers in midstream?
They won. Oh no, they lost.
No, they lost.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, we're not
in a game they should have won. That might have just been you.
We're not doing that today. I agree with Nick. The Lions are a better team. I trust Goff over Jordan Love. Jordan Love, last week, looked really shaky until Jameis went down or Derek Carr went down. And then, the Saints just fell off the rails, honestly. Their whole team just kind of – they had no juice left. I don't know what happened. It's just they were a completely different team. So I guess this is more about what I've seen. I need to see more from Jordan Love, and I've seen enough from the Lions, basically. This is the reason why I have the Lions.
Jackson?
Well, it must suck to be wrong so much as for y'all too. I know you can't see my record, but I'm flawless through 2 weeks. So that's awesome for me. And if you're taking the Saints as a sample size, they're just known for having that defense to keep people below 20. And so, Nick, let me talk. Okay. And Packers are getting Aaron Jones and Christian Watson back. And Aaron Jones had a monster debut, so coming back for week 2, and Christian Watson's finally playing, giving Love just more depth to throw to in both of those guys. And I think the Packers are easily the better team here.
Hot take. On to the London game, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. Jaguars.
Toy Story.
The Jags need this one. That's what it really comes down to. You 1-2. I think Lawrence is the clear better quarterback than Ritter. And I think Lawrence is going to have a big game here in London, and he's going to get the win.
Yeah, mostly agree. Ritter is just – I'm just out on him until he shows me something. Like Nick said, the Jags need this win. They coming off the game against Houston was embarrassing. The Jaguars defense needs to get some confidence. And if you're going to get confidence against a quarterback, it'd probably be Ritter. So I think this is a nice spot for them to bounce back. If the Jags lose this game, it's going to be – that's be really tough for them. So I'm curious to watch this game.
God, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this game and I'm thinking maybe I'm overreacting to that Lions game, that Lions-Falcons game.
Jags got crushed too, though, so it's kind of like –
Exactly. Jags had a terrible game. Their defense isn't great. There's either the thought of this is a great game for this defense to look good against Ritter, or this is a great game for Ritter to look good.
Ritter, yeah. Yeah. If he's going to have a breakout game.
Dude, I don't know. And they have Bijan and Algier back there, Drake London. They've got the people. Koo's not missing another field goal.
Yeah, he did miss one for me. Dang it.
That's a tough one, man. I don't think this is as obvious as it looks. And I'm really, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I'm going to stick Jags just because Lawrence is the better quarterback. Mm-hmm. Not as good as anybody's saying he is. He's not playing like that. And I don't think, but Ridley is known to, have a good game. They have
revenge game for Ridley.
They've got Etienne. Tank Bigsby's looking better. So Jags have the better options, but Falcons can get it done. So
This would be a good game.
The tough part for me is
the
tough part for me is you're saying like it could be a game for Riddle to have a good game versus a bad defense, or a game for a young Jags defense to have a good game versus Riddle. But even if the opposite happens, Riddle has a, I guess you could say, coming out party versus the Jags defense. You still have Lawrence. You still have Lawrence on the other side, so like that's where I think you have to draw the line. It's just
I don't know what Ritter's sexuality has to do with this.
It's just going to be hard for the Falcons to win this game.
The Jags offense just hasn't looked good. I mean, what more can you say? As Nick's okay, yeah. Nick, what do you have to say to that? Because who's
the better team, the Falcons or the Texans?
What?
Who's the better team, the Falcons or the Texans?
The Falcons.
I mean, and I know it's a game of matchups, and I know that's not definitive proof, but I mean that's a good debate for why the Falcons could have this game.
It could be a good debate.
The Texans won that pretty handedly, man.
They've beat Lawrence every time they play him besides one.
Yeah, we own Lawrence.
But and it's a divisional matchup. So anyway, we can move on to the Dolphins and the Bills. Listen, the Dolphins scored 70 points last week. I know that maybe that was last week, which it was last week. I just see the offense continuing to roll here. I believe Waddle is going to play, but I have to double check that real quick. But Bills are actually favored by 2.5, which is surprising. So,
why is it surprising?
Yeah, I don't think that's surprising. Where's the game at?
Buffalo.
Okay, and yeah,
Waddle is going to play. So yeah, I think that the clear offensive team that's on fire right now is the Dolphins. The Bills' offense has been good too, but give me the Dolphins for this one in a shootout.
We're not even going to mention the defense though.
It's a shootout. Give me the Dolphins for this.
I think
exactly. It's a shootout, and the Dolphins don't have the defense to keep up with a shootout. The Bills have a better defense.
Yeah.
The Bills' defense hasn't seen this offense yet.
And who do you trust late, Allen or Tua? Come on, bro.
To be honest,
what are you doing?
Allen's the more talented, better quarterback, but I trust.
What are you doing?
Okay, listen. Can I talk?
Do you trust McDaniel? Do you trust McDaniel or Tua?
I trust McDaniel and Tua combined to take care of the football more than Allen. I trust Allen to make the big play if it needs to be made more. But on the other hand, I trust the Dolphins take care of the football more. So that's where you draw a line there, and it's hard to kind of make my pick based off that.
But Nick is just overreacting to the 70 points, and he's over. I mean, yeah, that was a crazy game, but no, the Dolphins are not going into Buffalo and winning. I'm sorry.
The Bills just have to play smart and responsibly, and they're a better team. They can easily be the better team. They have the defense to keep up with this. They have a better defense than the Broncos, and I mean, as you say, yeah, the Dolphins, the Bills haven't seen this offense, but the Dolphins haven't seen this offense either. And the Chargers offense is good, and they barely win that game. And the Chargers defense is not as good as this.
It's horrible. Yeah,
I think everything is.
And the Bills
they have a 70-point victory, and they have McDaniel, but Bills look good here.
The Bills need a game like a state. I mean, yeah, like beating the Commanders 37-0 or whatever it was. That's a statement, right? But it's the Commanders. Ever since the Jets game, I feel like the Bills have kind of been written. They've already kind of been written off. Like Allen's already been.
This is the period to their statement. This is the punctuation right here.
Yeah. I think this. I mean, it's the biggest game of the weekend to me, and I think obviously if they win, I mean that's a win in their division, and that's helps for their tiebreaker down the road, which doesn't mean a lot in week 4, but it could come up later. I think the Bills win, man.
All right, well, we can move on to the Bears, Broncos. Battle of my number 31 and 32 teams in my power rankings.
Can you specify which one's which?
I have the Broncos at 31 and the Bears at 32.
We'll discuss that later.
Anyway, but as far as this game goes, yeah, it's definitely a go-either-way game. I'm going to pick the Broncos in this spot, though. I just feel like, they have the better coach here, even though the team hasn't played very well. And they're coming off both teams are coming off a butt whooping, but the Broncos, man, that was really embarrassing. So I feel the Broncos, they kind of just need this game. And I think the talent of the teams is very similar. You could go either way. I'd honestly say the Bears are probably a little bit more talented than the Broncos, but the way the Bears have been playing, the Broncos haven't been playing good either, but I think the Broncos are going to have a game here.
I
think it's a close game, though.
I don't know. I will say, Jackson, I want to applaud you because after the Texans won, you were very kind to me, and you said congratulations. I didn't get that from Nick, but one of y'all this weekend will be ending with a win. One of y'all will have a win in your pocket that you didn't have.
Unless they tie.
That's not going to happen.
0-0.
Yeah. I think the Broncos win. I think it's Sean Payton's a way better coach than Eberflus. Let's just be honest.
There's a debate to be had.
Russ is much better than Fields, at least through 3 weeks. He's been much better than Fields. Although I wouldn't be completely shocked if the Bears won because the Broncos' defense is just so bad that, the Bears – they're just –
If Fields doesn't have a game to step up, he has to be here.
Yeah, it's much – if whoever loses this game, I think this might – well, I don't know. Yeah, whoever loses this game might get Caleb Williams or might get the number 1 pick. Honestly, that's a tough blow for the Broncos considering where they thought they were going to be.
Well, I think the only argument for the Bears to win this game is that the Broncos defense is bad, but the Bears defense is just as bad.
Yeah,
we've got Payton, and everywhere else you look, I think we've got the upper hand. It just seems like the Bears are they're in a whole new level of JUCO football right now, in my opinion. And this just and Nick brings up the 0-0. There's no way this is going to be a shootout. I know you were joking about the tie, but as your professional betting guide, bet the over on points.
I don't think it's a shootout. I think it's going to be a 23-20 game. I just think because the offenses are kind of sloppy too. So
I just think it's sloppy offense against awful defense. And sloppy offense isn't necessarily bad offense.
Might be a lot of turnovers, but no punts.
We just got more depth. Mims and Johnson are playing better. Where Javonte Williams is better than Khalil Herbert. There's just I don't see any way we throw this away with Peyton behind the wheel, Sean Payton.
Yeah.
And Russ isn't having an awful game and an awful year. It's probably a step up from last year, surprisingly, but just we got to get something going.
All right, on to the next one. Browns-Ravens, big AFC North matchup here. Game is in Cleveland. It's a very tough game. The way I'm looking at this is, though, I think with the Ravens, they're starting to get more healthy than they were last week, but they're still dealing with some injuries up front. Ronnie Stanley, Tyler Linderbaum, arguably the two best linemen, both questionable. But yeah, I'm looking at it. This Browns pass rush and this defense is playing very good. And I think it's going to be a close game no matter what. It's going to come down to can Watson take care of the football and play solid ball like he played last week. And then the Browns should be able to win this game just because of how good that defense is playing. But then you could also maybe see, Lamar having a big game. But yeah, the Ravens are dealing with some injuries, and I just think the Browns are the more complete team right now. And it's just can Watson, play solid and not lose them this game.
Yeah, I think I honestly wanted to pick the Browns. Going off last week, they dominated the Titans. And the Titans, we have different agreement, assessments on them, but obviously they have not looked very good through 3 weeks, right? But it was dominant, right? And Watson looked good. And I wanted to overreact and just think, oh, Watson's going to look like that every week. But that's his first good game with the Browns. Literally. I don't think he's had – that's definitely his best game. Maybe he's had another, B- game. But he's just been bad with the Browns. So, yeah, 1 week is fine. But I'm going to just roll with the other 9 games that he hasn't been good. I like Harbaugh over Stefanski all day. The Ravens injuries that's the thing that scares me. But in a game like this, divisional game, it's going to be close no matter what. And honestly, I just trust Lamar late to make a big first down or a field goal drive. And they have the best kicker of all time. yeah, it might come down to that. Honestly, I think it's like 20-17. Classic AFC North game.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying about Lamar late, but this is going to be a low-scoring game, and I think it does come down. So if you're betting on Deshaun to have a slow game, then it's going to come down to a close game. But if Deshaun doesn't have a bad game and he has one of those B- games, they probably win this pretty easily because Myles Garrett is going to have his way with this offense.
Yeah.
Gus Edwards is like everybody's gone.
They haven't played a quarterback with this like the style of Lamar though. So like the defense has looked great, but they haven't played like a.
True, but I mean, I don't.
But they know Lamar well. I feel like so.
Lamar is going to be hard without weapons. Is the issue here because OBJ is out.
You think Lamar's going to own the Browns too? I think they've won like almost every game, maybe except for like one or two. But
but they're put in a pretty rough position here. They have the hill to climb, and
this is just my belief in Lamar.
Yeah, this Browns defense, as we said, is probably the best in the league. They could definitely get this done if things go right for them, but it statistically looks like a harder hill to climb. They look like Sisyphus in this one, so I got to take the Bears.
Nice. Browns.
Oh,
the Bears. He's just so excited to pick the Bears.
I'm dyslexic.
On to the Titans, Bengals. Me and Jackson are riding with the Bengals here. I think they're the better roster completely, and I think they started to pick it up the second half of last game offensively. And I think this is going to be a tough game still because Tennessee knows Burrow kind of well. But I think if Burrow is at least healthier than he was last week, the Bengals should win this game. So I'm going to go with the Bengals.
I'm very curious to hear how you can pick the Titans on this one because even as the Bengals have struggled, the Titans have struggled as well. So and they just have the more complete roster. So I'm very curious to see how you have the Titans here.
Yeah, we talked about it. I said. Before this game comes down to Joe Burrow's health and more about the offense of the Bengals than it does have anything to do with the Titans. The Bengals offense has not looked good the entire season. And I mean, what do you think? I mean, I think a week of him, like rehabbing and getting better is going to really fix the calf. I don't think the Bengals line is obviously not great and the Titans have a good D line. So that could scare them. And I think Vrabel's going to try to I wouldn't say this sounds horrible, but he's going to try to put pressure on Burrow to see how he reacts with the calf because
that's smart.
Yeah, because
that's not terrible.
He could, be fine and act normal or like he tries to scramble and then like, in his brain he's like, well, I can't do that because my calf is just not healthy. So and the Rams I feel like didn't really test that enough. I think the Titans have more resources to test the calf of Burrow than the Rams did. And I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but like the Titans run game has to get going. I mean, Derrick Henry's been bad like this year. Well, not bad.
Did you see the snap
numbers? His numbers look bad. And I'm not even going to say Derrick Henry's been bad because I just know he's not bad. It's got to be the offensive line that's terrible. I know the offensive line is. But the thing is with the Titans is their offensive line has always been bad, and he still found a way to put up like 2,000 yards. So I don't know. The Bengals defense, that's the only thing that scares me because they've looked like pretty good, and the Titans offense does not look good at all.
Did you see the snap count between Tyjae Spears and Derrick Henry?
Did Spears get more?
Yeah, I know at halftime he had like 7 more. I don't exactly know what it finished with, but I mean, Derrick Henry's got to be like not hurt necessarily, but maybe like sick or
I don't know
that we don't know about.
Coming into the year, I honestly thought the Titans might run him into the ground because this is his contract year. Like after the season, he's not in the Titans anymore if they don't want to re-sign him. So they if they wanted to, they could just run him in the ground and then just let him go for nothing. But they're not. I don't know. I still don't just trust the Bengals yet. That's more of why the Titans win this game.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I mean, a Bengals offense on a bad day still has a very good chance to outshoot this Titans offense on a midday. Okay. I think week 3 and week 1 Titans lose to a bad Bengals team, but maybe week 2 they could win it. So it just depends how they perform against the Bengals defense.
Yeah, who did the Titans play week 1? I don't remember. They played a good defense.
They played the Saints.
Oh yeah, the Saints have a good defense, and so do the Instead of the Browns. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Completely shut them down. And the Chargers don't have a good defense, and the Titans played really well. So I don't know. It's honestly, it sounds crazy, but you kind of just get a gut feeling on a game. So yeah,
I get you. I almost got a perfect bracket through gut feeling.
On to the Colts and Rams.
Almost won the lottery.
I believe the spread is even, and I agree with it being even because this is one of the tougher games to pick of the week. It's in Indianapolis. I'm expecting Richardson to come back to play this game. If Richardson doesn't play, I'll have to reevaluate my pick. But assuming Richardson plays, which it looks like he's on track to, I think the Colts win this game. I just think the Rams' defensive, front seven really hasn't seen quarterback like Richardson yet, and with them being a very young, not very strong front seven, obviously outside of Aaron Donald, I think it's going to be a tough challenge for them. And I think Richardson is kind of going to win the Colts this game.
Yeah, I want to say my decision predicates on Richardson playing or not. If Richardson doesn't play, it's like the Burrow decision for the Rams. So if Richardson doesn't play, I want to take the Rams on this one. But I'm optimistic about AR's game time decision. So, and if he plays, I think the Colts got this because they actually look pretty decent.
Yeah, I don't know. I think either way, if he plays or not, I think I still like the Rams. The Rams have looked good. Like I know the Colts.
They didn't look good last game.
Well, what do you think the Bengals are good?
But they didn't look good last game. The Bengals didn't look good until the second half offensively.
But do you think the Bengals are good?
Bro was on like one leg. Based off how they played the first 3 weeks, no.
I don't think Puka was at his healthiest for this game. He didn't have much production in the second half.
I don't think it's necessarily the Rams look bad.
No, the Rams looked all right.
The Rams looked pretty good
last week.
Exactly. Only last week they slowed down, and Puka wasn't at his healthiest. So if Puka's healthy from that oblique and AR's not healthy, everything's going towards the Rams.
Yeah, I don't. The Colts, I don't know. They feel a little overvalued here. The Ravens game. No, I'm saying for y'all. I don't care about Vegas. The Ravens game just feels a little iffy to me because they
was without AR though too.
Yeah, but the Ravens should they had the PI that they didn't get called, and Justin Tucker missed the field goal for the win.
It was a really deep field goal though.
I think even if they lose that game, I'm impressed with that performance.
Yeah, I'm impressed. It's just
the defense was amazing.
AR?
That win just kind of doesn't really do it for me. I don't know. That game just kind of. Some games there's some games in the NFL every weekend you don't take a ton from, and that one I just really didn't take a ton from.
Even if they didn't win it, it's just the defense played amazing.
Yeah, the Ravens had a lot of injuries though,
and they're showing that wide receiver core can get it done. A shaky receiver core that they're showing they're not terrible. Zach Moss is filling in greatly. And
it helps when their kicker goes 5 for 5. Is that
true? Yeah, it helps, and he can keep doing that.
Did he make 5? I think he made 5. Yeah.
The Rams do have the defensive facilities.
Aaron Donald. I watched the Monday game, and I guess I didn't really watch them closely before that. Dude, he's still a monster.
Yeah.
He's still a dog, man.
But
AR can get away from him.
Can he though? Yeah, you say that, but
anyone can, it's him. If
he hasn't seen somebody like Aaron Donald yet, man. He hasn't taken a shot from Aaron Donald.
I guess. He took a cheap shot from your Texans.
That was not a cheap shot. Whatever.
Oh, that guy was in. That guy was 2 yards in the end zone when he got hit.
Onto the Saints Buccaneers. This is a tough one for me. I'm back and forth on this game. I think a big factor for me is Alvin Kamara's coming back from a suspension. I think that'll help the Saints offense and Jameis Winston be there for a check down, make smart decisions, hopefully. But the Bucs know Winston well, so that's going to be tough. I think it's going to be a low-scoring defensive game. I could see a case you could say, okay, the Bucs defense can win this game, but I could also see a case, the Saints defense wins this game for them. So it's going to be a defensive battle. I'm going with the home team Saints here, but not confident at all.
Yeah, I can see that. I think, like you said, the Bucs know Jameis well. Last time Jameis played the Bucs, he threw 3 interceptions last season. The Bucks, I think the only thing that scares me for them is they're pretty banged up. Like their defense is pretty banged up right now. Carlton Davis was out Monday. I don't even know if he's gonna be back. He's questionable. And Jamel Dean got hurt. He's questionable as well. So that's the only thing that scares me. But also Jameis doesn't scare me at all. So if there was a game for them to miss, it might be this one. The Saints offense, even with Carr, hasn't looked great. So I don't know. If the Saints had Carr, I'd probably pick the Saints. I trust Baker over Jameis, especially what we've seen the first 3 weeks. I think it's low scoring. I mean, I feel like that kind of goes without saying. Both defenses are really good. I like the Bucks.
Yeah, I could definitely. I think all of us are on the fence on this one. So I mean, I think all of us would probably go Saints if Carr's playing pretty handedly, but Jameis Winston has to sub in, and I mean, Bucks offense didn't look convincing against the Eagles defense, and this is just an upgrade. This is definitely a harder team to go against.
Wow,
I
don't know, isn't it? I mean, the
Eagles defense.
Defense.
I think the Eagles defense is better than the Saints.
I don't think so. I think the Saints defense.
I think you can be a better defense, but not match up as well. Like the Eagles D line is better than the Saints D line. That's for sure, right?
The Eagles have the best D line in football.
Yeah. So the Bucs line sucks. So that's to me that's the reason why they lost.
I don't know. I think this is. I mean, I don't think the receivers are going to be able to get going. But the thing is, Jameis Winston this is probably going to be another low scorer.
I feel like Winston just throws a pick or two, and you can say, "Oh yeah, Baker, he's going to throw a pick or two as well." But through 3 weeks, he's taking care of the ball. I mean, that's kind of undeniable. So I trust him more than Jameis.
Yeah, but I think this is the hardest secondary he's gone against, and
that's fair.
Baker through 3 has looked good. I'm not going to debate that, but it's a little too early to bet on Baker for me.
I get it.
I mean, it's like I said, I'm on the fence.
I think this is a good game. It's a big game, honestly, because this is sole division in first place.
Yeah, I want to go Bucks, but Saints just look solid, dude. And
I don't think Kamara coming back really does anything for me. Like Kamara's I don't think he's good as he once was.
Hopefully they can use him well, but
he's still a good player.
He's good, but he's not. I don't think he's he makes them a touchdown better. I don't think he does that.
I'm just upset for Saints fans to know, the Carr injury just rough, because you're looking at if Carr's healthy, we really think this team is starting 4-0.
Carr's not healthy, so how about we make our picks predicated on that?
That's the tough part with
Nick. If you don't realize, guys, Nick is just a huge Derek Carr fan.
I do not feel bad for Saints fans, dude. They're so annoying.
They cheated, bro.
Onto the Eagles, Commandos.
That was not DPI versus the Rams. Are you kidding me?
Onto Eagles, Commandos.
Cut that one.
I think the Eagles are going to win this game. Commandos maybe put up a fight through a half of maybe longer than that, though, division opponent. But I feel like this is going to be a tough D-line and defense for Sam Howell to face. So I'm going to take the Eagles to win this one at home.
There's just no response to this D-line versus O-line, dude.
No, I'm thinking about it.
Disgusting.
I wanted to take the Commanders. I don't know. It's just another weird gut feeling.
Do it, man. Do it.
No, I'm not going to change it. Commanders coming off an embarrassing loss at home too. They're going to want to show something this week. But the Eagles D line is just too good, especially with the Commanders O line being terrible. We saw that 8 of the Bucks, and the Commanders O line is just as bad. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a close game just because it's a divisional, and the Eagles' offense is
the divisional match goes both ways though.
The
Eagles are gonna want to kill them just as much.
Yeah, but usually divisional games are closer.
The
Eagles' offense has not looked good.
This is gonna be a 2-possession game. I agree with that, but I don't think the Commanders' offenses look that good. I think the Broncos just absolutely gave it up to them to have their only good game.
I know. That's why I'm picking the Eagles.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think this is going to be close. I think this is at least a 2-possession game.
I can see this being a 24-21 game, honestly.
I don't think Howell has faced the pressure he's about
I'm
to go
thinking
under.
Eagles like 26-13.
Slay manhandles McLaurin. I'm thinking 25 plus to like 13.
I would disagree with the manhandles McLaurin, but
Yeah, because you're a McLaurin fanboy.
Terry
McLaurin does not look that good this year.
He's had some tough corners to face though too. So and he's
got another one.
Yeah, tough corner. But anyway, we can move on. Vikings, Panthers. Interesting game. I was thinking about choosing this as my stinker, meaning the biggest blowout. But then I really thought about it and was like, the Vikings.
When you rest your love for Bryce Young, you couldn't do it to your boy.
I think the Vikings.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm talking. I think the Vikings have like a very, bad defense, and they're just gonna happen to play in a lot of close games. And this is a game that I think they win like 30-20 or something like that. The Panthers, I think they're gonna have one of the best offensive performance with Bryce Young. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game, but I think it'll be pretty high scoring. Give me the Vikings 30-20.
Yeah, sorry, Nick. It's not going to be an interesting game. Both teams are not. The Vikings need this win bad. And I wouldn't necessarily say the Panthers don't, but they honestly, they care more about Bryce Young's development. They just need to see more. And I was going to say that this would be a game for Bryce Young to go off, but I mean, if you're getting blitzed, did y'all see the numbers for blitz against Herbert last week? Vikings blitzed 80% of the time against Herbert. So, Bryce.
I don't understand that because Herbert's good under pressure and they have good receivers. So
what else are they gonna do? Just sit back and let him throw? I mean, they're gonna beat the corners regardless.
Okay, yeah, I guess it's because you have bad corners, but anyway.
And Bryce Young doesn't have great weapons already, and he hasn't shown to be very good. So,
and I consider that Vikings performance a good performance last week for them. I thought Chargers would take it a little bit.
Yeah, 28. Like, if you told the Vikings before the game that Chargers would only score 28, I feel like okay, like they would be like, okay, I'll take that. But they lost.
But anyway,
yeah, I want to take the Panthers here so badly, but honestly, Bryce Young coming back is the reason I'm not, because it's his first game back from a break and he's already struggled. I'm not saying Bryce Young can't have a game, but this just isn't the game for him to have. It is a weaker defense, but they just don't have the way. And I mean, Vikings have hung close with all their opponents this far. So I mean, and they had every chance to beat the Chargers. So I mean, yeah, you have to take the Vikings because they're good enough, but maybe Kirk's just not that guy who can get away from a team. He just knows how to hang close. So, well, I'm very curious to see. I think this game is really going to help me decide the Vikings' position in this season, where they stand as a team.
I kind of already know where they're at, but that's
the Panthers, we may say they don't have weapons. They should have one weapon though. Adam Thielen playing against his old team, the Vikings. Adam Thielen's been secretly through 3 weeks one of the better receivers in football. He's still showing that he can be a number one guy, and he's not
number one.
He's been
You're racist. You're racist.
He's been the go-to. Whether Andy Dalton or
he's not number one, Nick.
Andy Dalton or Bryce Young is under center. But I mean, if we want to pull up the numbers real quick,
I don't cool. He's not number one. They suck. They're losing.
Well, if we want to pull up the numbers real quick, let's see. Where is he?
I want to see these where Thielen is getting these balls at. They've got to be
11 yards.
And Dalton just figures out that's the only guy he can throw to.
20 receptions. He's 9th in fantasy points for receivers, so he's playing pretty good.
All right, let me go check my waivers. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't even know if he's on a team right now.
Anyway, we can move on to the next game. The Texans.
Wait. Really? Where's Puka Nacua at on that yards list?
Probably fairly high. He's at 4th.
So is he number one?
He's probably like a number one for sure. I'll say that. But anyway, on to this game, the Texans Steelers. Interesting game here. I really think the Steelers are going to win this game, though. Texans obviously coming off a big week. They've looked like a pretty good offense. Steelers, no mediocre offense, but I feel like the Steelers started to get it together last game, and they're playing a pretty good, well-coached Texans defense, so it'll be a challenge there. But looking at the other side of things, I think Stroud's going to face by far the most pressure he's ever faced in the NFL through 3 games with the Steelers pass rush. So I think they're really going to get after Stroud and probably end up throwing his first pick of his career. But, yeah, I think the Steelers are going to have a pretty nice game here and win this game by a possession or 2.
Sorry, it wasn't nothing to do with what you just said. I just looked at the injury report. Oh, nice hat. Just said that Tunzel is likely to be out again. That hurts. Honestly, all right. I'm going to be honest. This game is a little biased. The Steelers are the better team. I wouldn't say. I mean, I guess you could say they look better through 3 weeks, but they haven't been that impressive. The Texans just had a great week. C.J. Stroud is already better than Kenny Pickett. Okay, we can all agree, right?
100%, no doubt.
Right, Nick?
What?
C.J. Stroud's better than Pickett.
We'll see.
Has he played better than through 3 weeks? Has he played better?
Yes, obviously.
Yeah, through 3 weeks. But have you seen the defenses Pickett's face? But
didn't ask.
Anyway, as far as prospects, I think they're very similar as far as how I would grade them. So we'll see how they.
Stroud is much. No, dude. The Steelers would much rather have Stroud right now than Pickett.
Okay.
Hey, they shut down Trevor
If the
Lawrence.
Steelers have Stroud, they might win the division. Okay, that's another day.
That's a stretch.
You have them as the tied for the division with Pickett. How is it a stretch?
I have them.
You have them one game below.
2.
Okay, you have them winning 11 games with Pickett.
I have them 10-7 Pickett. I think they'd be around the same with Stroud.
Nah, man. Stroud's only breaking rookie records, dog, with trash receivers compared to other quarterbacks in the league, and his line has been terrible. You can say, what? You can say, he hasn't played a great defense yet, but he's been pressured anyway. The O-line sucks. I guess I don't know. Stroud's been awesome through 3 weeks, man.
I don't. Deontay Johnson's still out for the Steelers. Najee Harris has looked awful.
If the Texans win, Nick, you have to admit on this podcast, C.J. Stroud's already better than Kenny Pickett. Deal?
No, that's week 4 too.
Nick,
this is week 4.
Nick,
it's your week 4 rule.
Nick,
what?
Do you not hear me? I said if the Texans beat the Steelers, you have to come on this pod and admit C.J. Stroud is better than Kenny Pickett.
Mm-mm.
Why?
We're gonna watch the game, see what happens.
Oh my gosh, it's week 4.
Do you think the Texans? There's any way they win if Stroud plays bad? No. Stroud has to play good for them to win, and the 3 weeks he's played good every game. Even the Ravens game he played good.
Tank Dell over Pickens, baby.
He just
give it to me,
guys. He just has a narrative with Pickett. He just has to push. We can move on.
Give me the Titans.
onto the Chargers Raiders. Jackson stinker. It's gonna be a pretty stinker if I had to say. The Chargers, Herbert and company, they should just light up the Raiders. And the Raiders, I think the Raiders offense could actually do some damage versus the Chargers. That's why I don't have it as my stinker, because I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think both teams put up 20+. Chargers probably put up 30, 35. Raiders put up 23, 24, something like that. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers in this one, though. Just a mismatch from offensive talent, in my opinion.
I still don't want to sleep on the Raiders, though. They're not as good as the Chargers, and the Chargers offense is too lethal. But, Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers have both looked very good. Josh Jacobs needs to find his hole and needs to find his place. Because he's been bad, but we know what Josh Jacobs can do, and he obviously hasn't done it yet. But the Raiders and Garoppolo stinks. We know Garoppolo stinks, but they have the weapons to make him look a little better than he is. They can't beat this Chargers team. The Chargers team's going to light him up. I think Chargers could score 40+ against this defense, but I do think the Raiders have weapons to get 20+, like you said. But I still think they beat them by 20 to 30+.
Are you sure Jimmy G's playing? He's on
who's their
protocol.
backup? Who's
Nick's guy, Aiden O'Connell?
Well, Hoyer
Yeah,
is the
but I mean-
second string, but
Oh wow,
Brian Hoyer?
that's tough.
yeah, Hoyer is the second.
Give me
string.
the Raiders. If Hoyer's
Stop.
playing, baby. Oh yes.
But you
No
can steal
way.
his
I feel like
Chargers
this
still,
was
right?
a must-watch game.
Yeah, not much to say about this game. Chargers just are the better team. They have the same record, but that doesn't represent how good these two teams are.
Brian Hoyer's head can see the future.
On to the Cowboys, Patriots. This is my upset of the week. It's actually down to 6.5, but whenever I made this graphic, it was still at 7. But anyway, this is a tough pick. You know, the Cowboys, they're dealing with some injuries though. You're looking at the starting center. He's questionable. Tyron Smith is questionable. Zach Martin is questionable. I don't think Tyron Smith is going to play. Let me double check if there's been an injury report update since this morning before they practiced. Let's see. No, still questionable, and of course we know Diggs is out for the year with a torn ACL. So it's gonna be a tough game to predict. But the way I look at it is the Patriots. I think Mac Jones is the better quarterback here, and I think he's shown that through 3 weeks. I'm gonna take.
Oh my god.
Why do you walk off set? Anyway,
Offset.
I'm gonna take the Patriots to win this game. It should be a very good close game. 2 really good defenses. I think the Patriots defense is going to have a really good game plan. As we've seen, they played almost they held the Dolphins, who just scored 70. They held them to 24. So I think that this Patriots defense is really getting slept on. Like, they can go down and match up with any offense in the league. And I think that's what's going to keep them in this game. And I think with the Dallas Cowboys injuries up front, they're going to get pressure after Dak with this really good pass rush. You may say the opposite too. Patriots O-line has been sus. Mac's going to be under pressure too. So it's going to be a semi-low scoring game, but I think the Patriots have the better quarterback in this situation. Neither quarterback is super clutch, I'd say, but I just think that the Patriots are going to get it done here and get to 2-2. And now that my co-hosts are back on set, you guys can talk about this game.
Wait, so what did you say was slept on for the Patriots, and they could go up against the defense is slept on?
The defense is it's slept on from the standpoint that it can go and take away what any offense does best well. Like, a lot of teams can try to do that.
And the Cowboys can't do that.
A lot of teams can try to do that, but the Patriots pretty much do it almost every time they want to. And like, this defense can but slow up anybody in the league. And I think
But can the Cowboys do that?
The Cowboys offense isn't even amazing. I think this is going to be a low scoring game. I think the Cowboys don't score 20 points. And I think that the Patriots probably do score 20 points. I'm gonna say the Patriots win this game 20-16 or 20-17, something in that stratosphere.
Oh my god.
So can the Cowboys defense not shut down the Patriots defense either just as well?
How can you
or
say
even
this with a
better?
straight face?
What?
How can you say this with a straight face? Not the prediction. That is fine.
The
Okay,
Dak versus
the
Mac is
defense-
even crazier.
I said the Patriots offense, I only have them scoring 20 points.
Okay, who's better, the Patriots defense or the Jets?
Patriots.
What?
Oh, Jets or
Patriots
Okay.
defense?
Jets slightly.
Cowboys put up 30, an easy 30 on the Jets.
But they also put up 16 on the Cardinals.
So why
Really
do you take more away from that one than you do against the Jets? That doesn't make any sense. It just feels
I'm not
like,
using
it
those
just feels
games.
that just feels like you want to take away the Cardinals more than the other.
I'm not using those games. I was looking at week 4 before last week, and I was saying I'm going to pick the Patriots to win this game unless I completely change my mind. That was before the Cowboys Cardinals game. But anyway, just looking at it, I'm looking at it as a standpoint where I think the Patriots are going to do a good job on CeeDee Lamb, and whenever you take him away, this Cowboys offense is kind of vanilla this offense is kind of vanilla with the offensive line of the Cowboys going to have maybe 2 or 3 starters missing, including the 2 best players on the offense, Tyron Smith and Zach Martin. I think that's, it's tough. It's a tough. They're playing a tough team. We act like they're playing the Bears. They're playing a tough team.
Oh my goodness, the Patriots have not looked good.
I don't
I
put
had
them
the
in
Patriots
tough.
predicted as good, as being good this year, but 3 weeks they have not looked good.
They lost by 1 possession to arguably the 2 best teams in football, the Eagles and the Dolphins. You cannot say they're the best 2, but they're definitely 2 of the top 3 or 4. They're both 3-0, and then they beat a division
They
opponent.
scraped by the Jets, who are awful.
The Jets' defense is really good. They still won the game.
The Cowboys put up 30 on them, and you just discount it because they put up 16 against the Cardinals.
Well, Zach Wilson also turned the ball over 3 times, and I don't see Mac Jones doing that.
No, I'm not letting you get away with that. What has Mac Jones done?
What do you mean you're not letting me get away with that? I'm going to give
to say that Mac Jones is better than Dak. That is straight up disrespectful, bro. Like, there's no way you believe that, dude.
I mean, if you want to just go off basic numbers, he has more yards right now by over 100. He has 5 touchdowns. Dak has 3. You can go off that. He has I can't really see the completion percentage right now because it's just
so Dak's team wins 40-0 and 30-10, and he didn't have to do anything. You don't
wait. Let me see this question. Do
you take any context?
Do you think the Eagles and Dolphins also have better offenses than the Cowboys? Yeah, I think the Eagles and Dolphins have significantly better offense than the Cowboys, and both those offenses.
The Eagles' offense does not look good.
Both those offenses scored under 25 points versus the Patriots, and the
Cowboys' offense is not significantly better.
The Cowboys' offense is worse than those 2 offenses.
The Eagles' offense does not look good. You're just doing projections.
The Cowboys might be missing the 2 best players on offense, and they probably are going to be missing at least one of them. We'll say that.
2 best players? We're not missing CD.
CD's the 3rd best player. Tyron and Zach are the best 2.
CD's better than Tyron Smith.
Okay, I disagree though, but
oh my god! Like, you didn't answer my question, bro. What has Mac Jones done ever to be better than Dak Prescott? Dak has been like a good quarterback for like 8 years. Mac had 1 good year. Last year he was terrible, and this year
Dak's also had a good situation pretty much. You can probably debate all 8 years of his career. Mac has had no number 1 receiver throughout his entire career, and he made the Pro Bowl as a rookie. And last year, you watch the tape, he wasn't even bad. He needed a sideline threat. He was throwing the ball accurate downfield. He had something, I forget what, he was like 5th graded from the pocket. He was throwing the ball from the pocket fine. He just had no number 1 receiver and a terrible play caller. Coaching matters in the NFL. We see that with quarterbacks every week, every year. Look at
so why does Mac get all these excuses?
It's not excuses. I said his tape's still good. I wasn't if his like a quarterback. If the tape is bad, and then I'm just saying, well, they didn't have this. No, his tape was actually pretty good. His box score numbers maybe didn't look good last year because of the situation around him. The tape's the tape. The box score is dependent on situation because
that's just nuts, man. Like, Dak had a good situation. Yeah, you can say that, but he's been good. It's not like he's been bad with a good situation. I mean, good quarterbacks with good situations are good. He was
pretty bad last year.
Supposed to be good. So last year just means everything?
I just said he was pretty bad last year. And if we're looking at the first 3 weeks of the season,
what did you do the year before that?
Let me talk. Dak's graded 27th by PFF. Mac Jones graded 16th, so Mac's graded better.
We're not going to go through this PFF talk again because
we went over the other stuff.
One of the top 5 PFF quarterbacks, Nick. Read them.
You're talking about Dak scoring all these points. Mac has 2 more touchdown passes, so obviously, that's the difference. He has more yards.
So just because Mac throws the ball on the goal line and Dak doesn't, that means he's like better? What?
Well, you wanted reasons, so I gave you reasons. I said the tape. I said the PFF grade.
He's refuting your
reasons. Wait, you didn't answer my question. So yeah, Dak didn't play good last year. What about
the only thing you told me? Wait. So now we're looking at 2021 football. If you want to go to the year before that, Mac was a Pro Bowler.
Dak had a better year that year than Mac. It's not even close.
Okay.
Dak had 4,500 yards.
Okay, we're here to predict the football game, not debate on who was the better.
I don't care. That was the worst take you've ever said. That was the worst take. Well, you said Derek Carr's top 10. That's not as bad as that.
Almost every single stat
disagrees. The playoffs. That's not as bad as that.
Almost every single stat disagrees with you and agrees with me.
So Russell Wilson's better than Mac?
What?
So Russell Wilson's better than Mac?
I would say no.
Russell
Wilson's actually played pretty well though the first 3 weeks, but it's a debate. I think
cannot be your main argument.
I think both quarterbacks are better than Dak, but I think they're in similar.
Dude, your hate for Dak, man, it's crazy. And the Cowboys.
I mean, you have to think Mac is substantially better than
Cowboys roster is just better. It's just better than the Patriots.
Exactly.
Man. Even if you don't realize they're missing 3 offensive line stars. That's just a recipe for disaster versus a Bill Belichick defense. That
Your main reason was that Mac is better than Dak. That was your main reason.
I still have it being a close game, 20-16 or 17. I think it's a 3 or 4 point game. I just don't understand why the Cowboys are a touchdown favorite. But then again, it is hard to win in Dallas, so I can see that. If this was in Foxborough, wouldn't even have to think. It'd be Patriots all day.
Patriots offense has looked crap. They have not looked good.
But it's in Dallas, so it's a tough game. But we've talked enough about it, so we can move on to the next one. 49ers, Cardinals. We're all on the Niners here. Just significantly better team. This is my stinko of the week. I think, Jonathan Gannon going to have to face Shanahan here. So he did play him in the championship game, but he played him with Purdy getting injured. Now you have healthy Purdy. Niners offense just looks amazing. So I think this isn't even going to be close. Give me the Niners all day.
Cardinals cover.
Cardinals coming off a big win.
I agree. I don't think this is a stinker.
Cardinals cover.
I think the Cardinals coming off a big win might honestly hurt them.
Pumpkin and Marquise Brown look pretty decent, dude. James Conner's playing better. I think this is a rough stinker pick. With some of the other slates, I'm surprised this is where you go stinker. I mean,
there's a lot of tough games to pick, so
I don't know, but there's some other stinkers.
A young team coming off a really big win versus an amazing veteran team. 14 is a huge spread. I couldn't, you could get me behind 14 being maybe too high of a spread, but I think the Cardinals or the Niners win this by, I'd say 31-13, 31-10. So I think they do cover.
I don't think Purdy has the skills to violate the Cardinals.
To violate the Cardinals, you act like the Cardinals defense is good.
I don't think they're good. I don't think Purdy's that good either. So I mean, I think the Cardinals put up a good game versus the Cowboys. They won the game, and I don't think the 49ers are substantially better than the Cowboys. Maybe they match up a little better, but I think the Cardinals have a better game than the Giants do against them. I think we're going to see a lot more of Jake Moody in this game. I don't know. I don't think this is a stinker. I think Cardinals put up points here.
Other games for context, but it's just hard to say, oh, this happened. So I get what you're trying to do. But
that's all we got. That's all we got is to use other games.
It's hard for me to do that though. But
not every NFL game, Nick, is like who's the better team. That's not always who wins, and you're smarter than that. You should know that.
No, there's the better team.
I literally admitted the matchup thing. I gave you that.
I just think they can easily cover. 14, dude. I
don't think the Cardinals win this game, but I'm just saying I don't think it's a blowout. I think the
Cardinals
put up a better fight.
All right, we can move on to the Chiefs, to the Jets. Sunday Night Football. This is Jude Stinker. The Jets defense is tough, so I could see them keeping this game close for half or 3 quarters. But then again, you could see just Mahomes taking care of business from the start to finish. Tough game to predict spread wise, but I think it's
Can we
pretty.
talk about the real story and stop going around what we should actually be talking about?
I think
who's going to be at this game?
9.5 is a big spread. I think I'm comfortable saying the Chiefs win, but
what are we talking about?
As far as spread goes, you could convince me either way on this one. So anyway,
we don't really care about the game. We just care about who's going. Jackson, who's
Taylor
going?
Swift is going to be at this game.
Let's go!
How do you know
Travis Kelce is getting 86 touchdowns.
Nick, have you not been on your phone at all today? That's been all over social media, dude. How do you miss Taylor Swift content, Nick?
Did you not check the group chat? She texted us.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift and Donna Kelce texted us. There will be in attendance.
Well,
you know his mom's name?
Travis Kelce will be running improv routes
5 times. Who's watching that
Travis
game?
Travis Kelce's going to run whatever route he wants, and he's gonna get dimes thrown to him. Travis Kelce's getting 2 touchdowns, putting up points for my fantasy teams. It's a game over. Are you kidding me right now? You're going to make me stop talking about Taylor Swift right now?
On to Monday Night Football.
It's fine. I'll shake it off.
This game's tough. Seahawks going into New York to face the Giants. I
need to hear something for this, Nick.
This is an even spread. Here's my thinking on this. This could be a trap game.
Can we stop talking about the spreads?
This could be a.
This is an awful spread.
Jackson, this could be a trap game for the Seahawks. They're playing the Bengals next week. Going to be a big game. They're going to New York on Monday Night Football.
Dude, you're using all these games for context. I just can't do it.
Who does that?
You're looking at the Giants from a standpoint as, they didn't obviously play good versus the Niners, but in a way, Thursday Night Football game, now they have all this time to rest, and they're playing a defense who has struggled in Seattle. So I think if there's a game to get going, this is the game. I think Dable is going to have a pretty well-coached game plan with all the time off. And, like I said, could be a trap game for Seattle. I just think the Giants, if there's a game to get going on offense, this is it. Seahawks offense is tough to face, though. But then again, I think it's a trap game for them. Give me the Giants to win in a close game, like 26-23.
No offense to the Bengals, but I don't think the Seahawks are like looking ahead to them, especially the way they've looked. I
don't think that's a huge fear for them right now.
I don't know. 2-3 weeks, Daniel Jones has not been good, and Geno has been good like the last 2 weeks. Like I'll give him credit. After week 1, he bounced back. I think the Seahawks, their defense needs to step up, and they have the talent. So basically the reverse of what Nick said. This is a game to get it going. The Giants offense stinks, so this would be a game for them if they want to get it going. The one thing I will say is Daboll's a really good coach, so I could see the Giants, get script some plays and it goes well for like the first quarter, maybe quarter and a half. But I think the Seahawks talent just kind of overwhelms them.
Okay, that's where we draw the line because I'm looking at it from a standpoint as if I predict the Seahawks to be 12-5 and win the division like I did before the year, then you would think they would win this game. But I also predicted the Giants to be a 10-7, very talented football team. You would think. So it's kind of one way or the other, but I still think the Seahawks are going to be a 11-12 win football team no matter the result of this game.
So you're just trying to keep your off-season predictions alive? Is that what I'm so confused?
Hey, I respect it, man. I did that earlier. I respect it.
Well,
I'm not even mad. I'm just confused.
The thing is, Nick, is you got to say that off the top. You can't not.
I gave my context to the Giants winning. That's just another thing I'd like to add in because it's kind of curious to look at from a standpoint of that. But yeah.
So I'm just curious. You, without any pre-precautions, you think the Giants have a better chance of winning this football game than the Seahawks do? You think they will win this game?
I think
say it. Just say it. You like the Giants. You like Daniel Jones. You want to see him win. Just say it. You just admit it.
It's fine if you do. I'm just confused.
Let me explain it. So, looking at a football game before you really dive into it, the team who probably has the better chance to win is probably the team with the better roster, and that's the Seahawks in this situation. But for the factors I named, I think a lot of things lean the Giants' way. So that's why I think the Giants are going to win this game.
The factors of the Seahawks looking ahead to the Bengals.
The Giants have had a lot of time to prepare for this game, and they're well coached.
That's what I said. I agree. That could get them for that, but that's not going to get them through the whole game, though. That could get them through a quarter and a half. But no, man.
Game adjustments too. I think the Giants are going to win this game, but
what do you think the score is going to be?
I said 26-23 Giants.
Giants were in 26. That's a lot.
They did score 31 in the playoff game last year, and the Panthers just scored 27.
Now we're going.
There you go, using old games for context.
I said there's nothing wrong with using games for context. I said using them to kind of just make them like the standard is what I disagree with. But anyway,
you just made the Giants' offense last 8 months ago the standard for their offense.
But anyway, the Seahawks just gave up 27 at home to a backup quarterback. So.
But they were winning the whole game. It wasn't
the Giants with time.
He's the backup, but he is better than Bryce Young. Andy Dalton is a better
win this game. I think the Giants are going to beat the Seahawks, but it's a tough one to predict. But anyway, that's the podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in.
I didn't even say a word about this game.
Okay, what do you want to say?
I was just going to say I think Daniel Jones, even on his day, doesn't have the receivers to keep up with the Seahawks. Jalen Hyatt and Slate, they just don't have it. They have Darren Waller is their best receiver on any given day. So I don't know how you can totally favor the Giants here.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if Saquon. It'll be interesting to see if Saquon and Andrew Thomas play. It's looking like Andrew Thomas is going to play.
Not playing.
It's looking like Andrew Thomas is going to play. We don't know about Saquon yet.
They definitely should not play Saquon.
I think you really need Andrew Thomas to play in this game. So anyway, the Seahawks are struggling with some injuries.
The Giants are winning 5 games.
Daniel Jones won't do anything with any more time.
It'll be an interesting game. Thank you guys for tuning in.